Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. By the way, I'm wearing the original Minion, Tenkar's Minion shirt that we did. I think I like the first one better anyway. So I'll figure out a way we can get some of these for Shire Con. By the way, the join button below if you want to support the tavern. Happy to have you along. You get little tchotchkes you can use while commenting. We'll figure out some other stuff later on. So I've had when I say numerous people ping me on Facebook, on Discord, and say, "Did you read the policy for next GaryCon 15?" And I was like, "What policy are we talking about?" And they're like, "The only policy that makes a difference to them." And for some people, this is awesome. For others, this is Big Brother. So, what are we looking at here for GaryCon 15, which is March 23rd through the 26th, 2023? Ignore that other FFA con. Apparently, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a thing. So, GaryCon terms, policies, and waivers. All right. Well, the only thing that's really important here, as far as my viewers and listeners are concerned, because they've told me this, is the COVID-19 policy. So, what is the COVID-19 policy at GaryCon? GaryCon 15 will follow governmental and facility guidelines on COVID-19. Here is our current policy, which is subject to change. Registration in order to get your physical badge or purchase one on site, you'll be required to present proof of up-to-date vaccination. Up-to-date vaccination is defined by the CDC here, but in short, it will mean you've received your initial vaccine or vaccination plus boosters. And a link to the CDC site below, right there. And listen, they're talking about coming out with another booster, I think in September, October, right? So by the time GaryCon comes around, it might not just be the two boosters that makes you update. Maybe it's three. Maybe it's four. I was told by my cardiologist, and this is the medical advice that I received, not the medical advice that you received. Um, I got my booster last November. I got COVID for the new year at the end of December, and I've been told that uh, my body's response to that has been huge. I got whatever the antibodies. He told me I don't need a second booster, but that's my medical professional telling me I don't need one. Gary Kahn is telling me that I would need at least a second booster as of today, if not a third booster. We don't know if the CDC will change going forward. I personally follow the advice of my medical professionals. That's why I don't give out medical advice. That's why when people are upset with me for saying things like use your common sense or talk to a medical professional, yes, I've got my two initial shots. Yes, I have one booster shot. I am not anti vax, but I am very much pro seeking the advice of a medical professional before doing any of this stuff. This stuff is stuff to your body. So, in any case, if you want to go to GaryCon next year, expect, unless you took the J and J for your first shot, it's going to be a regime of your two initial and at least two boosters, right? So, four shots, potentially a fifth. The form of proof can be your vaccine card. Well, if we go on to a fifth shot, I don't think it even fits on your vaccine card. A copy or image of it showing a screen from a state-sponsored app displaying your vaccine history, or a letter from a medical professional certifying that you are vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. Children under 12 are exempt from the vaccine requirement. I Not even going to go into that. Masking. If there is no mask mandate in effect, then masks will be optional. They're saying that it's not a governmental mask mandate, but that's confusing because masks will be decided by the government, but this is not being decided by the government. These might be guidelines from the CDC, but I got news for anybody that's going to be attending GaryCon. You will be required to have at least what 3 shots if it's J&J, 4 shots if it's otherwise, and other guests at the facility are not going to be required to have any shots. Why is that? Because this is a convention requirement. It's not a requirement of the facility. I believe the last GaryCon, there was a mask mandate in effect, but the facility itself did not have a mask mandate. So other guests were wandering the halls without masks. I am not a medical professional. To me, as a layman, if you're telling me that everybody needs to be vaccinated and then you're going to have a portion that will be at the location that will not be vaxxed, all right. Uh, Duty to self monitor. Staff, participants, guests, exhibitors, and volunteers agree to self monitor for signs and symptoms of COVID 19. Symptoms often include fever, cough, shortness of breath, and refrain from attending physical GaryCon if they suspect they may have COVID. So, then they go on to the harassment policy. That's good enough. Glad to have it. Conflict resolution, sanctions, ethics and conduct. But really, the only thing people were asking me about, that I hear about, was the COVID-19 policy, was effectively the vax mandate. Now, which I find interesting. Now, I'm retired, it doesn't affect me. But New York City, as a government entity, told its employees they had to be vaxxed, not boosted. They had to get their 2 initial or the 1 J&J or something J&J. And if it's offered anymore, but and if you didn't, your job was at risk. So we also had the vaccine mandate at one point to go into restaurants and bars. That was not very well enforced because who wants to be the vax police? I don't know. The employment one was strongly enforced. I've got my own suspicions that it was also an idea on how to downsize city government employee numbers and save the budget, but in any case, they didn't require boosters. They only required the initial 2 shots. GaryCon is going to require up-to-date boosters. So again, at this point, for most people, that would mean that you would have to have 4 shots. You had COVID 3 times, doesn't make a difference. Your doctor says you should not get the vaccine. I know people who have been in that situation. All right, well, you're not gonna get your badge. Case of my sister who took 1 booster and had heart palpitations, and her cardiologist said, "You get no more boosters. You're done." If she was a gamer, she would not be going to GaryCon because the policy does not state any exceptions. It doesn't even state the ability to test beforehand and show that you don't have COVID. So, forewarned is forearmed. Okay, before GaryCon just went live with sign-ups for badges. I don't believe that there are refunds. So this is one of those cases where you really need to read because somebody is going to step into this and go, "Oh, I just figured I'd wear a mask. What? Wait, what?" Or, "I had my 2 shots. I'm done. Oh, wait, I need to get 2 or 3 more." I personally believe this should have been on the front page. I don't know. Did this pop up when you were signing up for your badge? I think it should have, because this is going to be a make or break for a lot of people. And I'll simply say, well, you should have read the fine print. I don't know if it was a checkbox saying that you read the Gary Con terms, policies, and waivers before signing up for your badge. So, just throwing that out there for you folks. Knowledge is power. And you should know the policies that are in effect. All right, folks. On that note, tomorrow, live stream, 8 p.m., Gary Oliver from North Texas RPG Con will be on. Badges went live for North Texas. This should be fun. So, and ShireCon's coming up next month in September. I will be there. Joe the Lawyer will be there. Brock Conley should be there. Matt Jackson will be there. There's a lot of people from Rachel will be there. There's a lot of people from this channel you're going to get a chance to actually meet. ShireCon is in the mountains of Connecticut in September. I forget the exact date. I want to say the 18th, but I'm probably spitballing and wrong. All right, folks. We talked about COVID. From me, my perspective, use your common sense. You know your risk factors. You know where you live. You know what's going on. Use your common sense. It's not fun. I'm not saying nobody wants to get sick. So please use your common sense. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. And again, if you haven't, you think about it, $1.99 to join and support this channel. $1.99 a month. Come on, that's not even a Starbucks, right? Although with our local McDonald's, that's two soft drinks of any size. Maybe it goes further in that case. I don't know. All right.